Good. Thank you so much for giving me more of your time after our hangout this week.
Are you kidding me? Thank you for having me. Thank you for every time I get to see you. It's a pleasure.
Oh my God. Although, disclaimer, we have had a good old gossip earlier in the week. So we're just going to be talking about actual art now. And
Yeah, exactly. Every time it's like any of the close friends, right? Every time you catch up, you just talk absolute nonsense. So we've already got that out of the way this week. We've already had our little girly gossip and catch up.
yes, and we've rattled out all the demons and we're excited because I'm especially thankful for you giving me some time on the internet days before your life is set to change forever.
It's true. I'm actually already. I'm in Sydney. I'm literally sitting in my hotel right now.
Yeah.
What is it? What day is today? Wednesday. 3 days away from the Drag Race Down Under premiere. Pretty.
Holy moly. How does it feel? I've got anxiety about this exhibition, even though nothing's going wrong. Like, I'm waking up going, I can't imagine literally having my entire character. Sorry if I'm deepening the anxiety, but my entire character in business and image and everything on national/international television.
Yeah, I've already processed that.
Yeah. Right.
That's totally part of it, because you do it and it's really cool and fun, and then you come home and it's a secret and you're not allowed to tell anyone about it, and while you're not telling anyone about it, you go into a deep dark hole of anxiety. Be like, oh my God, what if I'm going to be the monster? But then I don't know, I think maybe when the cast was announced, all of that anxiety went away, and I'm just really excited now. Like, it really was so fun, and I can't wait for people to see what we did. And I'm just really curious to see what the response is. I'm really curious to see what my response is. I'm sure I'm gonna love it, and I can't wait to see what everyone else says.
To me, it just seems like the hardest gig ever. But the cast, you see it on the international series, but I've noticed with the Down Under series that people in the cast, most of whom you would probably already know. So it is like a gig, just a super hard one that goes forever.
Yeah, totally. I think that'll be one of the main differences, I think, between our season and the other seasons we're used to seeing, is because Australia and New Zealand together are much smaller drag communities than, like, say, the US or the UK. And so not all of the girls knew of each other, or at least had worked with most of each other before we rendezvoused at the studio or in the workroom. So there is already kinships and friendships and relationships at play before they started rolling. So yeah, the relationship angles would be totally different. Yeah.
And we're obviously a lot more emotionally invested in it. I'm probably going to cry when I see you on the screen, because we have been friends for a long time. And the first time I ever met you, I met Karen before I met Richard. And we were doing a gig together. I don't remember the venue, but it was for Thursday.
Yes.
And it was a very baby Karen and a very baby Tanza. I remember I was wearing leggings and a leather jacket, singing a cover of Queen for some reason. I don't think my original music was even ready.
Yeah. I think I remember that gig. I think it was at Laundry in Melbourne.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah, and it was for an event that they did called The Club. And if I can remember correctly, I had an issue with my music that night that I'd never ever had before. And you do some DJ work, so maybe you can explain it to me. But something about you, like, whether you're playing CDJs or vinyl, you have it on a different setting. One is line and one is, I don't know, something else. And the little knob was switched to the wrong one, so the sound was really distorted. And it would have
been on phono.
Yes, that one. And I was doing like a 7-minute mix, and it just was distorted the whole time, and no one stopped it, and I didn't know what to do, so I just kept going. But like during the performance, I lube up a bread roll and masturbate and cry, and it was just wild, and no one knew what was going on, especially me. That was a fun party. Haven't we come a long way since then?
I was just going to say your shows have similar themes.
Yeah. I'm still doing the same thing. People can just hear the music.
I saw Out of Office on the last Saturday night. I don't know if it was closing night. It was the last Saturday night of the recent season at Melbourne Comedy Festival. And it was just, I've said this to you already, but I'm just saying it again. Like it was, I got so emotional seeing someone I love and adore so much as a person, but someone who has kind of grown up as a performer in the same family and in the same venues as me, and just seeing the evolution of Karen has been so beautiful. And when you kindly agreed to be involved in my video installation, Disco Instamatic, one of my 20 cast, we kind of had a look at that and talked about the evolution of Karen and how she came to be the fully formed goddess that she is now. I'd like to kind of chat about that. When, because I feel like we always evolve, like all of us evolve. When we first started, I was in the leggings, you know, I feel like your wig was red, but you were very different visually. I didn't own a cowboy hat. Like we've evolved and responded to things, and obviously, you know, we get better as performers. We understand like how to do our faces for lights better. We understand what works for our bodies, like all that, as well as the performance side and the art and what we're actually trying to convey as performers. And when we were putting together your video portrait for Disco Instamatic, I wanted to encapsulate the most quintessential stereotypical Karen we could get, and you presented this fabulous disco diva version of Karen.
Yeah,
I
felt like the part of Karen responded so literally to that, where you were like, hey, we're doing a disco video, and you know, the first thing Karen's going to do is say, okay, I'll bring a disco outfit, you know, like she's very literal and very meta. If you say you're going to a Halloween costume, she's going to be like the Bride of Frankenstein, you know. She just takes everything so literally.
Yeah, and because at first we were like, oh, are we going to bring a phone, like a calculator? Are we going to bring kind of Karen-y props and stuff? But it ended up being perfect, because your vignette compared to everyone else's, I've got to say, was utterly mesmerizing to me, because it's, for the viewers at home, it's 18 panels of 16-second video portraits. So there's basically 18 Karens going at once. And so when I was directing the 20 people, I was literally yelling over the music, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, change. You, out of all the people, really... But I've got to say, Karen, but it's so Karen. It's like Karen has a poise, a focus, but like a joy that just smacks you in the face. And when I was directed, I had to walk away. I had to take a breath. Because you came in and you had the disco moves and you had the face and you had the and it's when I edited it into the 18 frame concoction, it's just mesmerizing. I'm so excited for you to see it.
Oh my God, thank you. Well, you know what they say, you've got to find joy in everything you do. And if Karen comes from a world of invoice archiving and tax statements, you know, and she can find joy in that, if she gets to do a disco video clip, I just whizzed off into a fantasy wonderland. It was so cool.
Is there something you summon? Because I know that even if I'm having a shitty day or a bad mental health day or all of the above, and I've got a gig, once I'm in the outfit, I feel like the character can move ahead for me. Do you find there's an element of that with Kaz?
Well, we were having this kind of conversation the other day, and I'm still kind of trying to think on what it is that I summon, because there's something, and I don't know if I've tapped into it enough to know what it is, but I think that you know, when you when you see someone, like, I want to say in a really lame way, but I mean it like with all love and respect. You know, when you see someone like fall in love with something that's really lame, and they're just like really, it's like when you see, I don't know, when you see like a cute kid playing a video game, or like, you know, talking about like their favorite computer game or something. You're like, oh, no one cares, but the way that you love it is so special, and it's so beautiful. I feel like I feel like the way that I tap into Karen is I don't know, like I put on a voice, I go into like a mental state where it's just like, again, it doesn't matter what she's doing, she just loves it. And that I get off on that. So it's like there's two brains going at once. So I'll hear myself be dumb and then tune into the Karen loving what Richard's doing dumb, and just, I don't know, they just vibrate like that.
It's true, because she does have a bit of an element of the, you know, woman from the office who just can't wait to have her moment on the karaoke stage. And it's like, you guys just wait. I've got this inner performer just ready to be unleashed. But the actual caliber of Karen is so good that it's like, that it's not even like, we were talking before about Ab Fab, and how every time Eddie has a microphone or a studio or a moment to herself, she starts singing her number one.
I'm just walking down the road. People say hello.
Yeah. You think Karen's going to come out with that, but it's actually a really fabulous, glamorous lip sync.
Yes. Yeah, I love the dump.
What are you up to in Sydney? Are you allowed to say?
Yes, I'm allowed to say. Well, I'm working on a series of shoots at the moment that I'm not allowed to talk about, but primarily I'm here. We are doing a premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under on Friday at the Sydney Opera House. So it's a day ahead of the public launch. It's a media call. We get to watch like the first half of the episode, and we're certainly not seeing the whole thing. But it's like a sneak preview media premiere on Friday night at the Opera House.
And that's to avoid spoilers.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like 2 days away or something.
Yeah. I've got to say, and let it be known to everyone, I'm a close friend of Karen's, and Richard, has been so good with the spoilers. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I've been really good. I literally haven't told anyone. Even my boyfriend, I have been very selective with what I've shared. Because it's so much more fun to watch it live. I just watched the finale of season 13 of Drag Race, and it was like the first one in a long time that I watched without knowing what was about to happen. It's so much more fun.
Yeah, and I also know it's so, if you've signed a non-disclosure, I just know that it's so not worth, giving a friend a hint if you're going to risk anything contractually. Like, I would be the same. I think you're wonderful and very smart.
I feel like, do you feel the same way? I feel like when I sign a non-disclosure statement, even if I think about telling someone, I'm just going to wait for like the FBI to like, I don't know, crawl down the windows of the building and smash in the glass and smuggle me out to some like CTU 24, like 2001 era secret underground office somewhere.
Yeah, I felt like that when I was a kid. Even if I thought something, I felt like someone could read my mind.
Yeah, I still feel that.
Yeah, and when it's that important, when it's your career and stuff, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I've got some questions from your adoring fans wanting spoilers.
Oh my God, please, ask away.
They're just one person. Brianna Jane, hello, says, any goods for us about the first ep on Saturday? What can you say that isn't a spoiler? Blue outfit.
The first episode, what can I say without spoiling it, is they've obviously used our entrances to the workroom as promo for the episode, which is so exciting. It means that we've all gotten to get a glimpse of what the room looks like, what the girls look like. But really, even in the trailer, hardly any of us have spoken. There's been no interaction. The first episode really is like about getting to know the girls, but in a completely different way to what's being promoted. So yeah, it's I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it, except that you're gonna get to know the divas. There's only 10 of us, so you're gonna get to know everyone very quickly, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Did you know who else was on it before you walked into the workroom?
I didn't know. I had my suspicions, of which most were correct. Certainly not all, but I had my suspicions. Yeah.
So you literally saw, Art and Maxi and stuff, and you were like, and you just didn't know for sure that was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea.
That's amazing.
And also the promo is in alphabetical order, so that's not necessarily the order that everyone walked in on. So even that was like, yeah, was a major surprise, you know, because you just had this preconceived idea of what that would entail, and it literally, like, I thought that it was going to be like, I would get there and, I don't know, it would be like hours before I went on set. But from me getting out of the car and like walking into that room in front of the cameras was like a minute. It was really like wild. Yeah, it's really fun.
Do you feel somewhat prepared for it because you did so many drag expos? Is that what they're called? Drag cons?
Oh,
Drag con.
yeah. Prepared? No. I've gotten a glimpse into what like a possible future could look like, which is extremely exhilarating. But we see so much nastiness in the fandom online, but in real life it's just the complete opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking before, I'm such a bad, like, even though I'm chatting about my installation, I'm such a bad drag race interviewer because I am not down with the fandom. But we do have another question from Blue Lou 1234 saying, how long have you been doing drag and what's your fave part of it?
Oh, I've been doing drag for 8 years and my anniversary was last Wednesday. So what's today? Wednesday. I've been doing drag for 8 years and 1 week.
Cool.
8 years and 1 week. What is my favorite part of it? My favorite part of drag is definitely well, one is the obvious one is performing, but I think the like it's getting a glimpse of myself in a mirror when I'm not expecting there to be a mirror somewhere, and being surprised by what I see back. Like when you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands or something, it's like that going to the bathroom, you get taken out of being the woman because you're dealing with, and yeah, I don't know, just seeing myself, like, I just think I'm the most beautiful thing in the world. And I love that I dress older than what I am, and that sometimes I really do look like a 55-year-old woman, and I just think she's the most beautiful thing in the world.
I'm always really taken aback by how beautiful and soft Karen is every time I see her. As a performer who wears femme makeup, it's like I think I look good. And then Karen turns up and I'm reminded what good makeup looks like.
Oh my God, stop it. No way. No, it's a femme makeup. It's like, it really, I think it is about looking older. I think, I'm gonna take back what it's looking older and wiser. Like I like walking into a club and it being full of drag queens and them all looking, slutty and fierce and thin and young and gorgeous. And then Karen's just like a bit bigger and a bit older.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a real homage there to a lot of the characters that inspire you. Like you're not necessarily inspired by the young, sexy kind of pop divas that a lot of young queens may be channeling. Yeah,
I just put out a post the other day talking about my inspiration for my entrance look being Jane Fonda from the movie 95, and I felt like it really clicked with a lot of people, and that like sharing that information really helped people understand maybe who I am a little bit more, which was really cool.
Yeah, amazing. I had one more question and I'll let you go, because once again, I keep telling you guys it's going to go for 10 minutes and then I'm like, oh, whoopsie. I'm really interested because obviously I've heard about how Drag Race can change the environment of the drag scene and the queer club scene in the cities that the queens come from. And it's relevant to my installation because the 20 people involved in my video installation are 20 of us. Yep. Literally the people performing in the clubs for you every weekend, the people taking the photos, creating the art, doing the performances. And I'm so excited to have taken just a tiny little cross section of our world and immortalized it. I don't know how to word this question. How do you feel it's going to change now that there's two Melbourne queens? Is that right? Yeah. 2 Melbourne queens on Drag Race. Do you think it's going to mean more fabulous opportunities for everyone? Well, or do you think it's going to make a very Drag Race focused vibe across drag, because you started and still are even though you're a huge headline sellout performer now, you came from very alternative drag. You started kind of queer as fuck and subversive, and kind of came from the side rather than a more traditional drag path. I've just asked a million questions at once.
No, they all relate to each other. I think
Yeah.
it's one of the major reasons that I did Drag Race was, you know, obviously not just to like, you know, make myself more visible, but to make the community more visible and to create more opportunities for everybody. I think the pure existence of Drag Race in our country and down under across Australia and New Zealand means a bigger audience, not just for the 10 of us, but for the scene in general. And I hope that it inspires more young kids to try drag. I hope it inspires people of all ages to go and watch drag. And I just hope it inspires more people to be excited about it and witness it and support it and like embrace it in the community. So I you know, I don't expect to be like, I don't know, going down to the local bar and doing a show and it being packed out of kids that just want to talk about Drag Race. I expect to go down to the local bar and like be in a show or watch a show and it'd be full of people that are loving all the drag that's being presented, not just the girls that are on the show. And I'm sure that's going to be the response. I'm absolutely sure of it. And you know what I want to get out of the show is like my favorite thing to do at the moment is performing like my one woman shows, and I'm already writing my next one, and that's going to be my focus post Drag Race. So you know, I have no intention of going into like any club or like changing audiences and stealing spotlights. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and yeah, hoping that those opportunities are being created and embraced for and by other people as well. And I don't know, using that spotlight to create opportunities for others too.
Love it. Love that
Yeah.
answer. Knew you were gonna knew that was the case. Love you. I'm already seeing it in the amazing lineup that you have put together for the Karen from Finance End of Financial Year party.
Yes.
Plug. I've got my ticket. I can't wait.
Oh my God. It's been about 6 years since I did an end of financial year party. Of course, it's the true New Year's Eve. And it just so happens to fall on a Wednesday night in the CBD, and we're just going to get lit. I can't wait. We've got, the lineup is so cool. D Flowers, Aisha Buffet, Jawbreakers, and Argonaut are going to be there. I'm obviously hosting and performing, but I'm going to be dropping and performing some really cool stuff there that I can't talk about just yet, but it's going to be big.
Amazing. I can't wait. Are you actually good at your accounting?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'll very quickly tell you why, is because when I was that asshole that had like 200 outstanding parking fines and just kept like parking anywhere, being like, yeah, it'll go away. And I don't want to give this financial advice to anyone, but they literally did. Like 7 or 8 years passed and my record was just wiped. But I committed to myself there and then. I said, you've been lucky this time, but you need to get your shit in order from now on. And so I do my BAS statements on the 1st of every quarter. I get my tax returns done. I keep my taxes paid, and I'm totally on top of it. Yes. And
you're literally a living, breathing shrine and testament to financial tightness.
Correct. 100%.
I'm going to leave it on that note, darling. Thank you so much for giving me time on your busy day.
No, I love you. Thanks for asking me. And thanks everyone for listening. And yes, go Sasha. Awesome. Get those bookings.
Oh yeah, SashaStar.dq saying, speaking from experience and managing a group of girls, bookings are coming in fast and strong. We love to see it.
Bye,
Goodbye,
everyone.
darling.
Bye,
I'll see
darling.
you real soon.
See you.
Bye.